The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Scheduled programming to bring you a show on the edge. Broadcasting worldwide and out to the greater universe, you're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to another John Lebang Show, episode 301. Hope you had a good week. I'm going to do my best to keep my emotions in check this hour because there's been a lot of hypocrisy, bullshit, outright lies, and a whole lot of deception going on this week, and it's made me extremely angry, emotional, and I can't believe people continue to fall for this crap. But before we get into any of that, I wanted to make a correction on something I said last week. And I just got the numbers wrong. It's really not a big thing, but we attempt to be as accurate as possible, not give you any false information, try not to sensationalize things. And, last week we had talked about the 9/11 and the odd numbers that were being related with this year's 17th anniversary with 17. There was a lot of 17s. There were a lot of 3s as far as numbers coming up related to this year's 9/11. And I misspoke when I said that each September 11th that fell on a Tuesday was 6 years apart from each other. And that wasn't true, and I wanted to correct that. The second Tuesday in the series of Tuesdays leading up to this 17-year anniversary was actually 5 years after the first Tuesday anniversary, which was 6 years in, so that made 11 years there. And I wanted to correct that because we try to be as accurate as possible. But because I'm a one-man show here and I am human, I tend to, I can make mistakes here and there, and with no help whatsoever. I mean, seriously, there's not a person out there that even attempts to make an effort, even fakes an effort to help me along with this show. So having to do everything myself, run the mixing board so you get a quality sounding broadcast, do the videos, research the stories that are talked about on this broadcast. I got to make sure everything's edited properly and uploaded to YouTube and every other site that I upload to. Sometimes in the, I'll say, heat of the show, I may misspeak, and I try to correct those sort of things. But I don't really get any credit for that either. We've got people all over the mainstream manufactured news, which the elite liars will probably start becoming a term here on the show as we're going to transition into what we're starting to see that everybody's a frickin' liar out there. Nobody can tell the truth, or at least the full truth. Even the mainstream media will give you some nuggets of truth in there, but they won't tell you the full story, because that does not support their political beliefs or their agendas. I see people posting on Facebook all the time that love using the word facts, as in they have all the facts to the information they're talking about, when they don't have jack squat about facts. You ask them to produce those facts, they're just something they got off the mainstream media. They never went to the source. And even if they did go to the source, they picked out lines here and there to support their argument. But omit specific words, phrases, sentences, even entire paragraphs that might either contradict what they're saying or sheds more light on the whole situation. The mainstream media is replete with people who will do that. The alternative media, the people I've supported since I got on this microphone in 2012, and before that when I was doing videos on YouTube in 2007, the people I supported because I thought the alternative voices were the ones we truly needed to hear, because they weren't the controlled media. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a bunch of malarkey as well. And I'm sorry I even attempted to defend some of these people in the alternative media, because everybody out there has a freaking agenda. And it's driving me mad. Some of where I'm going with this, ladies and gentlemen, is a few of the big things that made news over the last few weeks, and for that matter, over the last year. You know, the Russian colluding with Trump, and there's a giant investigation. And now social media platforms are trying to block so-called fake news that supposedly was produced by the Russians to affect the election. We've also got Mr. Alex Jones now on the interview tour. The man that was supposedly deplatformed across the board. He's now on everybody's show being interviewed. We'll talk about that as we travel through this hour. But I wanted to get into this Russian thing, because I've been really thinking about it. I see all the people, the facts are this, and the facts are that, and the facts are this, and the facts are that. And Russia produced information on social media to affect the election. So me, being somebody who likes to research what I'm being told to make sure that I'm not being lied to, unlike a lot of people I know, and we may get into those people out there, because I'm tired. I am tired of all the bullshit. I'm tired of everybody trying to produce an agenda. There should be one agenda here in the United States, and that's the truth. 100% truth. So with that being said, I wanted to figure out what stories did Russia create out of thin air to affect the 2016 election? What stories were they? What fake news stories did the Russians put out that changed the election and gave Donald Trump the win? And I'm not doing this to support Donald Trump, because as you're going to find out over the next few weeks, my opinion on Trump is becoming crystal clear now. becoming crystal clear. And we'll talk about that. That's not what we're discussing now, but we'll get into some of that. And I continue to digress. So this fake news story, these fake news stories that have affected social media so much on Twitter and Facebook, and I mean all these sites, even YouTube, are now using algorithms, metadata to figure out what Russia put out, and certain news items are not going to be in people's feeds anymore. So I've been going through it all. I'm like, okay, what stories were there? So let's run through the stories. Because perhaps someone can pinpoint to me the actual false stories Russia produced and inserted into social media to change the effect and the results of the election. What canard did Russia produce? It certainly wasn't the 33,000 emails that Hillary Clinton deleted. That's well documented. She admits it, as well as James Comey, in testimony, admits it.
Because they deleted all emails they did not produce to state, and the lawyers then cleaned their devices in such a way as to preclude complete forensic recovery.
That wasn't a Russian story. That was mainstream news, or at least easily obtainable information, because the people who were investigating it said so. Hence James Comey, Mr. James Comey. 8 of those contained top secret information. Even though Hillary Clinton lied under oath and said none of it did, Hillary Clinton perjured herself in front of Congress. That's not fake news. I can produce that right here. Listen.
There was nothing marked classified on my emails, either sent or received. To say that nothing was marked classified at the time I sent or received.
Now listen to what James Comey had to say.
From the group of 30,000 emails returned to the State Department in 2014, 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information at the time they were sent or received.
Did the fake news stories that Russia produced, were they about Whitewater? No, they weren't. That's provable information. We can find out the money trail and who Hillary Clinton, what Hillary Clinton was doing during that whole time. William Cooper laid out, I think it was a 3-hour dossier. Is it about the Benghazi hearing? About Benghazi at all? No, Russia didn't produce that. That was provable information we found out through congressional hearings with Hillary. You remember, what difference does it make? She didn't care about those people. So what information, ladies and gentlemen, I want you ask yourself this question. It's a simple question. What news story, what fake news did Russia produce to affect the election? This is getting people banned from Facebook, banned from YouTube. You can't say specific things, and it's fake news. It's fake news, even though most of the stuff is well documented. So what information, and I'm asking those people out there that I see posting all over Facebook and social media, that they know the facts about Donald Trump, the election, the Russians hacking, what they hacked, what news story. Give me the news stories that Russia produced that affected the election that were totally false and bogus. Fake news, as the big term is. I want to know this because I've done my investigation. I've tried to figure out which news stories they were. Because I don't like being duped. I don't like being duped. And I know the American people don't like being lied to. Well, maybe they do. They continue to hire liars. or elect liars. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. We hire them to perform their duties inside the halls of government. So maybe it's okay to the American people that there are liars out there. Then they wouldn't care about the fake news produced by Russia either. You see, we can't have a bunch of liars on one side complaining about the fact that somehow Russia made up some kind of false, bogus story. You mean lied about something? And complain about it. I mean, that's so hypocritical, it's insane. We got to take a quick break, folks. We've gone long in this first segment. We're going to continue on this story here. Continue talking about this. Alex Jones is going to be talked about as well because he did a recent interview. And be right back, folks.
Don't go anywhere now.
John will be right back right after this.
Yes, it will. Check out the new book from Derek Shelmerdine,
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It tells the story of rock and roll from its roots right up until the mid-70s punk.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Not just the music, but also the events that shaped the music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It includes the backgrounds to recording sessions, singles, album releases, births and deaths, epic concerts, and festivals.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Shelmerdine has made a painstaking effort to document pretty much every event that would prove significant in shaping popular music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Purchase the book at www.rockandrollunraveled.com. Follow him at Twitter at R&R Unraveled and look him up on Facebook at Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
By author Derek Shelmerdine.
Available now.
Hey man, you're listening to the John Lebang Show, man.
The place where chronic brain cell rejuvenation happens.
Feel like you're getting any smarter yet?
What is the news story, or the many news stories that was produced by Russia, completely fake news, had nothing to do with reality? They made it up just so Hillary would lose. I want you to look around and find out for yourself, because I can't find the news-worthy items that were lies, that changed the election, and that they were produced by Russia. Apparently, Facebook knows this. Facebook knows which ones it was. Twitter does. YouTube does. YouTube, really, because we brought them up. What's up with you, YouTube? In one day, you're going to take away 78 of my subscribers in one day. I produced 5 videos last week. 5 videos, all of them very short. Every single one of them had 100% likes on it. Everyone, there were no dislikes on any of it, no thumbs down at all. Yet I lose that many subscribers in one day because they all left in one day, about 2 days after my last video. And the great thing about all that is when you look at the analyticals, you can see that I've gained 4 subscribers in the last few days. Now, how can I see if I lost 70 some subscribers? It would have a little arrow in my analytics going down, a little red arrow going down, going, ooh, you're losing people. But I wasn't losing people. 100% like on every one of my videos. You combine them all together, and it's 100% likes. Those 5 videos, 4 of them were exclusive 9/11 videos taken of the aftermath of 9/11 that nobody has seen before. Very few people have seen because I have the exclusive footage. The other video was just a replay of last week's segment of me talking about 9/11 and the numbers that are coincidentally popping up. that related to this year's 9/11 anniversary. I didn't tell people anything besides, hey, here's the coincidences we got. We got a lot of 3s, we got a lot of 17s. Nothing offensive in those videos. Nothing was a lie. Everything was there, provable. In fact, if you look in the links, you can read the articles that talk about it. Mainstream articles, folks. See, I use the mainstream articles because eventually they either tell you the truth when you get to the bottom of the story, or you can prove they are outright twisting the information to suit a specific agenda. I mean, a perfect case of this, and I'm not defending Mr. Trump on this, but a perfect case of this is when Trump was talking about MS-13, that vicious gang from Mexico, raping people. You know, those people that rape and kill. He called them animals because we had caught a few and they were locked up in cages. And the mainstream manufactured news, the elite media, twisted the story, left out entire sentences prior to the word animals. These people are animals, or whatever the exact quote was. And said Mr. Trump was saying that about all immigrants. All illegal immigrants. All these people in cages. The mainstream media didn't even have the intellectual honesty to tell you that they separated not only the kids from the parents, but they separated the men and the women. Men were in one cage, women were in another cage, and the kids were in a third cage. So they weren't really separating the kids from their parents. They were separating the kids away from the adults. Not all of them were their parents, and a good portion of them were MS-13 members, vicious, organized criminals who kill and rape women, who kill people just for the heck of it, just because they like to do it. And the mainstream dishonest media went ahead and talked about how the children were in cages and never explained to you fully why they separated the kids from the adults. And that was because you can't put a bunch of adult men in the same holding facilities because we don't have hotels for all these illegal immigrants who are coming here illegally. We don't have 4-star hotels for everybody. So they work with the facilities they have. And sometimes the capacity becomes so big, so large, it overshoots the capacity of the building. But I'm digressing again. But it all relates together. All relates together, right? I can prove the mainstream manufactured elite media who think they're better than all of us, who think they know better because they have the big budgets and they have degrees and they're journalists and they're professional journalists and some of them may have awards. These people, you have to believe them no matter what. And even if they're frickin' lying to you, it's the truth. Even if they're twisting the information, it's not fake news. It's not anything but honest reporting by the mainstream manufactured news. Mainstream manufactured news. The elite media who twist stories to fit an agenda on a regular basis, daily. They twist these stories. They're having a field day because Donald Trump is in office. The man who was once a Democrat, who says he sides with Democrats on a lot of issues, but this dishonest media can sit there and produce half-truths, twisted news stories, focused on one specific part, omitting all this other relevant information. They can do that and get away with it because they're the elite media. They're better than all of us. They've been trained to be a journalist. They are paid. They've got a degree. They're on big networks. Yet they haven't been able to produce an actual story that Russia produced to affect the election. Some kind of fake news that's all we hear in the mainstream media. Russia produced, that's why they're dumping stuff on Facebook and why Facebook is taking measures to stop fake news and false news. YouTube's just either totally throwing you off their platform, or as they done to the Corbett Report, who's one of the best independent reporting operations out there. James Corbett and all the people he works with, man, their information is solid as a rock. And they've been shadow banned. We won't even talk about the banger and what they've done to me. Because I'm not the important one in all this. I don't like making everything about me. But I'm part of all this. Yet then we have the side on the alternative media that they're using to block the rest of us, the real whack jobs in the alternative media, the real far-fetched to the wide out edges of reality. Because they don't even deal in reality. You know, the Mandela effectors and the flat earthers and the Sandy Hook conspirators that think the event never happened. They had crisis actors and all that. Maybe they did. I don't know. But what I do know is the event happened, and it's sure a heck of a lot easier to take a kid with some mental problems and twist him a little bit, get him focused on something, and then unleash him to do some really bad things. MK Ultra experiments are public knowledge. Mind control is not some kind of theory. People have put it into practice, and all you have to do, if you really want to find the truth, that's you in the mainstream media, you in the alternative media, you, the average listener, all you have to do is go look up MK Ultra and what they did in those experiments. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to do that work, and if you just want to grab something off of Snopes or Snopes, I'm sorry. Snopes. I mean, it's funny how that worked out. If you just want to believe MSNBC or CNN, then we got a lot of trouble here. Speaking of CNN, we were talking about the fact that, the fake news with Russia. What about the DNC rigging the election the primary against Bernie Sanders? CNN asked Senator Elizabeth Warren, one of the possible future presidential candidates in the Democrat Party. They asked her if Mrs. Clinton's contest against Democratic rival Bernie Sanders was rigged. And you know what she said? Yes. That's on CNN, folks. That's not John Lebang bringing it up. The BBC reported it. The Political reported it. That's not fake news. That wasn't produced by the Russians. That's what kills me about this whole thing with Trump. Here we have every Democrat nut job out there, and they've gone into some kind of derangement syndrome over Trump. They've lost their mind over Donald Trump. It kills me. They've gone to such extensive whack jobness to hate on Donald Trump, yet they can't produce a freaking story that Russia produced that affected the election, that was fake news. That was fake news. They can't produce it. I can't find it. I've looked all over. It's not about the Democrats rigging the election against Bernie Sanders. It's not that, because we know that's fact. It's admitted by Elizabeth Warren. It's produced on CNN, BBC, all the respected left-wing media outlets, mainstream media outlets. The 33,000 emails, that's fact. James Comey brought it up. Hillary admitted to it. Oh, I'm so sorry I did that. It's not anything about Benghazi, because we had hearings on that and we know there was a lot of wrongdoing there. And, of course, Hillary's free and clear from all that.
What difference at this point does it make?
So what news, ladies and gentlemen? I'm dying for somebody to send me some real information on what Russia produced to affect the election, because I can't find it. I cannot find it. And I'm talking fake news, stuff that wasn't factual. And if people are complaining that Russia put out information that affected Hillary Clinton's campaign and her election to be president because it was truth, then your guys are full of crap. Because if you want to avoid the truth just because the so-called boogeyman Russia produced it, then you guys are corrupt scumbags and shouldn't be given any credit for anything. We got to take a break again, folks. We're long. Probably going to be the whole hour like this, folks. Trying to keep my emotions in check, but you can see they're slowly peeking out. On the other side of this, we're going to add Alex Jones and his recent interviews to the mix. Stay tuned.
Don't move a muscle.
John Lebang Show. Right back.
With lots of fun and excitement. Yes! Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning for a beautiful sparkling shine that's crystal clear. Call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
If you want to contact the John Lebang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John Lebang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John Lebang Show. Now here's John.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're doing well. Drinking out of my beautiful John Lebang Show coffee mug right here. If you haven't gotten yourself one, please go to my website, www.jlebang.com, and purchase one. We only have like 6 or 8 left. We're down to the very minimum. We're almost out of stock. Oh, I know. We're not supposed to be selling things if we're giving out information. I mean, it's just a horrible thing to try to make a couple dollars on something so you can produce decent quality stuff without begging for people. Go to my Patreon. I hear all these people, go to my Patreon. Just give me money and I'll produce videos that you want me to produce, because, hey, I can't produce my own content with my own mind without somebody telling me something and paying me for it. Give me a donation. I mean, I hear that left and right on all these other independent sites, and mostly it's the guys doing, just garbage work. I understand that, everybody's got their little niches. Everybody's got their little spots in media. But really, we've got entire sites dedicated to covering Marvel movies and the history of Marvel movies and what might happen in the future. And everybody's speculating about Avengers 4. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I am sick of speculation. I've done it myself in the past, and I am truly sorry if I've misled anybody with any of my speculations. You're not going to get speculate. I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm going to give you stories from now on. I'm going to talk about what's going on, give you as many facts as I possibly can, and I'm going to let you do the speculation. You can tell me what you think's going on. I have my ideas. All I know is, ladies and gentlemen, that there are a lot of people out there out for themselves. They have a specific agenda that they want to put in place to make their life better. I don't know what these people who try to put these agendas, what they're trying to actually accomplish outside of having power over everybody else. I don't know what it is. Power and money, power and money, power and money. I mean, it's the grossest thing. Freaking gross. Power and money. I mean, why do people want to have any kind of power over anybody else? What does that give you? Oh, some slaves, doesn't it? It gives you some freaking slaves. People that you can control and manipulate and do whatever the frick you want them to do. I mean, that's what all this. I mean, you see a group out there, 10 or 12 or 14 people, going to do some kind of rally somewhere that supposedly on the right, I mean, Nazis technically are on the left of the American agenda here. I mean, seriously. I mean, when you look at how the structure of the government is, Nazi might have been on the right in Germany in 1930, but that's because the communists were on the left. You had no choice. The socialist, National Socialism, is to the right of communism, sure. But so in Germany in 1930-something, the Nazis were on the right. In the United States, Democratic Socialists are the left wing. They are the left wing. They're on the left. You don't ever hear of Trey Gowdy saying he's a Democratic Socialist. He's a right-winger, right? He's a right-winger. Mm-hmm. They consider me a right wing. I'm part of that alt-right, right? I love that, the alt-right. Alternative right people. I don't know why they say that. I'm not a right-winger. I feel I'm pretty liberal in my belief structure. Problem is, liberals, today's liberals, who are not really liberals, they're progressives, they're Marxists, they're communists, they're sure not liberals. But I digress again. Alex Jones, let's get into that because that's what I promised in this segment. So here's AJ. He gets supposedly deplatformed. He's cut off from every social media site out there. I almost think they should just do that to me because I'm sick and tired of being blocked and banned and not being put in searches, even though I know I'm just about the only video talking about something one day, and then you search engine it and you can't find, and you narrow it down. You narrow it down to this subject, this day, because I know I put out a video that day on that subject. And you can narrow it down to a specific day. And you can go 10, 12, 15 pages into it, and you can't find my video anywhere. Same with the Corbett Report. It's amazing that you can find anything on the Corbett Report. Thank goodness. And if you don't know who these guys are, James Corbett and his gang of researchers over there, they do some pretty good work. Do I agree with everything? Have I found a couple things that I found bias? Sure, but for the most part, Corbett Report's pretty damn good. It's sure a heck of a lot more truthful than anything you get into the mainstream media. And I can tell you, it's certainly a lot more centered than Mr. Alex Jones over here. So Alex recently had an interview with Patrick Bet David. I never heard of the guy before. I watched a couple of his videos. He looks like he's some guy who has some money. He decided, maybe with a partner or two, to create a YouTube channel to talk about entrepreneurship and have interviews and things to better. There's a lot of that out there. Make yourself better. Yeah, okay. If I did a channel like that, I don't think people would even do the things to make themselves better, because what I think of makes a person better is your behavior. Your behavior. But I'm digressing again. So Alex Jones is on Patrick Bet-David's show. I think it's called Valuetainment is his YouTube channel. And he's over there, he's been deplatformed. And it's an interview, and I'm listening to this interview, and I'm realizing that Alex Jones is a master of sidestepping the question. And it's not just with him, because he recently had, what's that guy's name on? It leaves me. Eric Bowling just went on the Alex Jones show over there at InfoWars and had a discussion with Alex, and Alex wouldn't answer his questions either. Alex, he gives you this big, grandiose answer, yet it doesn't specifically answer the question that was asked by the interviewer or the person he's talking to. And I can see Patrick Bet-David was getting a little frustrated with Alex not answering, and I've got to commend him. He kept pressing the issue till he got a little bit out of Alex. Although Alex wasn't offering very much information, he was just spouting off the same old BS that he's been spouting since he got the platform. And before that, right? And the big question that he was asking is, do you sensationalize things, Alex? And Alex is dancing around, blah, 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 all the way around. In fact, let's play you some of that interview.
Do you ever think you go from just selling the idea, which already makes a lot of sense, you're making me think. Then from there you go into, let me sensationalize, and you get yourself in trouble doing that. Do you ever feel like you've done it where it's gotten you in trouble?
Oh, I think there's no doubt that I've covered internet sensations. And then the media says that I created that sensation just because I covered the sensation.
Yeah, but do you sensationalize yourself? Are you sensationalizing yourself? There's a big difference. No,
I'll be honest. I don't ever sit there and think about what's going to be successful. I go with what I think is true. And I've questioned public events, and I've done things like that. And like I said, you got mainstream media that lied about Iraq and lied about the Arab Spring and all this stuff, and they sit there like they're pure and good because my listeners question things.
There's no question about that, by the way. So I want you. There's no question about that. I don't trust either side. I don't watch CNN.
You understand, like in the spectrum of 24 years on air, like the media tries to make me Sandy Hook. That's like they changed the subject, how we expose the surveillance state and world government and globalism, and the media then brands it Sandy Hook, Sandy Hook, Sandy Hook. I was not the first person to question Sandy Hook. Other people did.
I know they did.
I then looked at it, and then I said, okay, I think it happened. And they went, oh my God, he's weak. Let's go after him. And 3-4 years later, they're in newspapers every day showing, Alex, please stop saying my son didn't die. And I'm like, your son died. He got killed. Please stop saying I said it. Because the whole Democrat machine and all this is behind it. So, okay, get rid of America. Get rid of free market. Get rid of the Second Amendment. My God, I'm sorry. Sandy Hook is everything. Just sacrifice everything on that. And if you're involved in that, socialism, Venezuela, everything, I'll jump off a cliff. I'm so sorry.
I don't think that's the case.
No, but they act like I killed the kids at Sandy Hook.
No, I don't think that's the case.
Was a Prozac head with an illegal gun.
And as you can see, Alex didn't want to answer that. And this went on for minutes. There was a 2-hour interview. This Alex Jones dancing around the sub. I mean, he was boogieing, man. I thought he was John Travolta, the way he was dancing around that question.
We just watched the hair.
He did not want to admit, even though 90% of the people who know anything about Alex Jones see that he sensationalizes stories to get people riled up. He does. That's his shtick. Bill Cooper, Mr. William Cooper. And we're going to tie these in together because Alex Jones told one of the biggest freaking lies ever in the history of the world, and this Mr. Patrick Bet-David. And sir, I don't know anything about you. I don't watch your videos. I never heard of you before. I know you got a bigger channel than mine, and you got way more money than me, and I'm a nobody, and I understand that, and my opinion probably doesn't matter. But really, dude, you're gonna follow along and you're gonna say that Alex Jones was the one who predicted 9/11, and you let Alex Jones get away with that lie. That is a bold-faced lie, Mr. Alex Jones. You did not predict 9/11. The man who did was William Cooper, because CNN went in one day, you got to love that CNN, they're always involved in this crap. CNN went in and talked to Osama bin Laden, had a secret interview in his secret hideout with him and his generals and all those people in a secret hideout. But at the same time, the U.S. government was looking for Osama bin Laden and couldn't find him. The military budget that the United States have, the CIA intelligence budget, which blows away anything from the CNN reporter. See, I'm parroting what William Cooper said, because I could just play you the audio. It goes on for a little bit. I'm trying to boil it down for you. So a lot of these words that I'm using are directly from William Cooper himself. So don't give me the credit for that. But man, here we have a military industrial apparatus, an intelligence apparatus at the time, which was the largest ever in the world. It has since been dwarfed because of how much has gone in after 9/11 into the intelligence world. Here we have the largest intelligence agency in the world with the biggest budget ever in the history of the world, and they couldn't find Osama bin Laden. But a CNN reporter could find him. Not only could he find him, but he could do an interview with him. So he's going to conduct an interview, and they came out of that interview saying what? They saying Osama bin Laden's going to attack America. And Bill Cooper, I'm going to play you this little bit. This is what he said. And this is before Alex Jones said it, before anybody else, because anybody who repeated this after William Cooper was just copying what Cooper said, because they didn't want to be wrong on this. And Bill Cooper, like him or not, the man was generally accurate. He was more accurate than anything on the mainstream manufactured news. Here's the audio.
You see, the CIA created Osama bin Laden. They recruited him. They trained him. They found his leadership. They brought them all together. They showed them how to fight the Soviet Union in Afghanistan, and when that was over, they still continued to fund him and train him, and they're now using him to help bring about world government by making him the big boogeyman, because they can't use Saddam Hussein anymore. Did you ever hear of Osama bin Laden before you heard of Saddam Hussein? When did you start hearing of Osama bin Laden? It was after Saddam Hussein and Iraq were supposedly neutralized in the Gulf War, because they needed a new boogeyman. I wonder what Osama bin Laden's targets are supposed to be. And if they don't, if this doesn't materialize in the next 2 or 3 weeks, it will eventually materialize, because they haven't succeeded in getting the guns out of the hands of the American people, nor have they succeeded in taking our freedoms away. In fact, there's been a great awakening in this country and a big backlash against these Marxist, communist, puke-faced, lying, subversive, Nazi, jackbooted Gestapo thugs that is gaining momentum. And so I can tell you with a certainty, they must do something terrible in order to stop this backlash and regain the sympathy of the mass herds of sheeple out there.
And the best part is, did anybody forget that he admitted that he's doing this as an actor? The whole Alex Jones InfoWars thing is a bit, according to Alex Jones, in court documents, the man lied about predicting 9/11. Listen, I don't have anything against Alex Jones, right? He's given out some good information. But Alex Jones right now, according to his words, you can believe it or not, I don't know. I don't care, Alex. Really, I don't really care. But you're saying that more people are visiting your website than ever, so you're doing great. More people are probably buying your products than ever. Hey, when you're getting free coverage on alternative media, on the mainstream media, on all social media platforms, because now everybody's running to the martyr's age, or the martyr's aid. Everybody is running to either defend Alex Jones or call him something. And like I said before, no publicity is bad publicity. And instead of the social medias deleting Alex Jones, like get rid of him from the face of the world, what they've done is turn him into a martyr. And he's going to gain support over this. He's got people on all sides of the issue that never liked him before now defending him. Alex Jones is not being hurt by this. There are people posting his videos for him. So he's now living through proxies. He's gaining popularity because the mainstream media, the social media giants banned him. The mainstream media is talking about him being banned. The alternative media is talking about being banned. His followers are now posting everything about Alex Jones on his website. People who would never have interviewed Alex Jones before are now interviewing him. And look at that. AJ, you're doing pretty good. Be right back.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Because the John Lebang Show will be right back.
After this.
That's guaranteed. Yes. Quality One Painting. For interior and exterior painting needs, call Tom at Quality One, 313-982-2986. Tom will give you free estimates, senior discounts, and I can tell you from meeting the gentleman, he's one of the nicest guys on the face of the planet. So for a quality paint job with a professional attitude, call Tom at Quality One Painting. That's 313-982-2986. 313-982-2986. Quality One Painting.
You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Join the radio revolution right here.
It's better than some good Thai stick, man.
Yes, I would like some too. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Want to apologize for this is going to be a really short segment because we have gone long in the first 3 segments. When I get rolling, I don't want to stop. If I go long, I go long, and we're just going to have to deal with it. There's so much BS out there, folks, that it is so hard to weed through it all. And if there's anything that you learn from the John Lebang Show, and I don't know if anybody's learned anything these years, I really don't. You should have. If you were paying attention, if you just took the time to research what I told you, you would have learned a whole lot of stuff. And I'm not the smartest person in the world. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I don't have a massive degree in anything except reality and life. My degree is in life. I was on top of the world at one time, and I've hit rock bottom. James Comey had admitted in testimony to Congress that she sent classified information on her private servers, which is illegal, which is wrong. But because she did it accidentally, she didn't mean to do it. It wasn't purposely done. She was just extremely careless. She's not going to go to jail. Whitewater, all that scam going on left and right. She didn't go to jail for that. And Hillary was all over. She was a lawyer at a law firm that was making all kinds of transactions and having money shifted left and right. People selling property and then buying it back for less. I mean, what the hell? And Hillary's not in jail. Not in jail. Nobody. I mean, we've seen James Comey fired. We've seen a few other people fired. But the swamp not being drained. Now you're going to get the alternative media that's going to say, well, there's a coup going on inside the government. That may be true. That may be true. But let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that Donald Trump was once a Democrat. And once you're a socialist, and that's what the Democrat Party is, National Socialism. They don't want to say it. They're democratic socialists. It's the same thing. Democratic socialism. Once you're a socialist, you really never, ever go become a freedom lover. And when people are going to say, well, Donald Trump's a capitalist. Well, here's the rub, folks. Nobody will tell you this. Nobody has the guts to tell you this, that socialism cannot exist without capitalism. Where are they going to get the money from? Where are they going to get the money in socialism to pay for all the stupid, wasteful projects, wasteful agencies, wasteful programs without capitalists? Where are they going to get it? Because if you're just going to tax the working class to death, eventually the working class is going to say, you know what, it's not worth working. It's not worth working. I'm pretty close to that. I am pretty close to that. It is not worth working in this current state of this country. I don't even know what to call the atmosphere we're in. This corporatism, which is socialism at the heart of it. You don't think corporations act like socialists? They act like them. Their rules are socialist. You can't do this. You can't do that. Can't this, blah, 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 blah. They're always in your life. I mean, drug testing is full-blown socialism. To get a job, you got to pee in a cup, or you got to give up a piece of hair, or give a little swab in your mouth. Because you can't do anything on your own time at all. That's against all regulations. Anyways, folks, we're right up against the end of the show. I want to thank you for joining me once again. We have another hour now that we're back to full-blown banger schedule here. We have another hour coming up. A lot of the stations that you're listening to us on will be playing it right after this hour, but some of the stations will actually wait a day or two, depending on their schedule, to play it. That's what happens when you're in a syndicated show. You have to deal with the schedules that are allowed by these stations, and we love all the stations that we're affiliated with. We want to thank them for their continued support of the John Lebang Show. Don't forget to go to my website, ladies and gentlemen, www.jlebang.com. If you've missed any portion of this broadcast, you can go there and listen to our archives. Maybe you've missed a past show. Well, they're all there as well. Don't forget, you can also go to, we've got YouTube, Facebook, we've got Twitter. Twitter's at John Lebang. Facebook is the John Lebang Show. And on YouTube, we've got multiple channels. You can look us up at Bangerverse, The John Lebang Show, and Banger Incorporated. Each channel is a little different from each other. And I'm going to promote those right now just in case I get banned someday. Because it's, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, it's heading that way. Now, I may get into it in the second hour. But until my vocal cords, my voice, my sonic vibrations coming from my vocal cords reach your ears again, this is John Lebang signing out for now from the Banger Studios.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again next week. Same time, same space, same station.